Flamingos are one of the most iconic and recognizable birds in the world. Their bright pink feathers, long legs, and curved necks make them stand out among other waterfowl. But what are these flamboyant creatures up to when we are not looking? How do they live, feed, breed, and survive the hardships they encounter? What are the secrets behind their color, their posture, and their social behavior? Let's take flight on the journey to discover some of the amazing facts about the secret life of flamingos. Flora is a flamingo who lives in a colony of thousands of other flamingos in Lake Nakuru, Kenya. We will witness her daily struggles and joys, her challenges and achievements, and her interactions with her mate, her chick, and her fellow flamingos. We will immerse ourselves in her world so we can better understand the mysteries that surround her. Flora lives in Lake Nakuru, a shallow alkaline lake in the Rift Valley of Kenya. Lake Nakuru is one of the most important habitats for flamingos in Africa. It provides them with food, water, and shelter. But it also poses many challenges and threats. Flora has to cope with extreme temperatures, salinity, predators, parasites, and human disturbance. To survive in these conditions, she has developed some remarkable adaptations and strategies. The water of Lake Nakuru is alkaline due to volcanic activity and evaporation. Algae, plankton, and crustaceans that Flora feeds on thrive in these conditions. But the lake also has a high concentration of sodium carbonate, which makes it very salty and caustic. Flora has a special gland in her nose that helps her excrete excess salt from her body. She also has a thick layer of skin that protects her from the corrosive water. Lake Nakuru is also home to many predators that prey on flamingos. Flora has to be vigilant at all times for hyenas, jackals, eagles, marabou storks, and even pelicans. She also has to protect her nest and her chick from these threats. Her first instinct is to fly away and avoid confrontation. But she has several tactics to deter predators. She has been observed forming defensive groups, or even making loud noises to intimidate unwanted guests. Human activity threatens the ecological balance and biodiversity of Lake Nakuru. Flora is struggling with the loss and degradation of her habitat. Agriculture, tourism, urbanization, and pollution are ever-worsening contributors. She is also at risk of being hunted or captured by poachers for various purposes. Flora is aware of the dangers that humans pose to her and her colony. She tries to avoid human contact as much as possible. One of Flora's most distinctive features is her bill. Unlike most birds, flamingos have a downward bending bill that is specially designed for filter feeding. Flora feeds by holding her head upside down in the water and sweeping her bill from side to side. Tiny hair-like structures called lamella act like sieves to trap small organisms such as algae, plankton, crustaceans, and insects. She also has a tongue that pumps water in and out of her mouth to help her filter out her food. Flora spends most of her day feeding in the lake. She needs to eat about 250 grams of food per day to meet her energy requirements. She prefers to feed in shallow waters where she can easily reach the bottom with her long legs. She also likes to feed in areas where there are strong currents or waves that stir up the water and bring more food to the surface. Flora is not picky about what she eats. She can adapt to different food sources depending on the availability and quality of her habitat. However, some foods are more important than others. One of them is brine shrimp, a crustacean that lives in salty waters. Brine shrimp are rich in carotenoids. Carotenoids are pigments that give brine shrimp a reddish color. When flamingos eat brine shrimp, they also ingest these pigments, which are then deposited in their feathers, skin, and eyes. This is how Flora gets her pink color. Blue-green algae, also known as cyanobacteria, is also an important food source for her. Cyanobacteria are microscopic organisms that grow rapidly in warm and nutrient-rich waters. They are one of the oldest forms of life on Earth. They produce oxygen through photosynthesis. They are also a source of protein and vitamins for Flora. However, blue-green algae can be toxic to other animals and humans. Some species of blue-green algae produce toxins that can cause liver damage, skin irritation, or neurological disorders. Flora is able to tolerate these toxins because she has special enzymes in her liver that break them down. Flora is a social bird. She prefers to live in a large colony that can number in the thousands or even millions. She forms a strong bond with her mate, and they stay together for several years or even for life. Flora breeds once a year, usually during the rainy season when food is abundant and water levels are high. Flamingo nests are cone-shaped structures that protect the egg from flooding and predators. Flora builds a nest out of mud on an island or a mound near the water's edge. She lays one egg per clutch and both parents take turns incubating it. The egg is white with a chalky coating that prevents water loss. The chick hatches after about a month. Flamingo chicks are born with gray or white downy feathers and a straight bill. The parents feed the chick with crop milk, a nutritious fluid produced in their digestive systems. Crop milk contains fat, protein, minerals, and antibodies that help the chick grow and develop immunity. After a few days, the chick leaves the nest and joins other chicks in groups called creches. The creches are like a daycare. They are supervised by a few adult flamingos while the rest of the parents go to feed. Upon their return, the chicks seek out their parents by their voice, eager to be fed. The parents regurgitate partially digested food into the chick's mouth until it is able to feed on its own. As the chick grows older, its bill starts to curve downward. Its feathers start to change color from gray or white to pink or orange. This process takes about 2 to 3 years, when the chick reaches sexual maturity and is ready to mate. Flora is not only beautiful but also intelligent and complex. She has a variety of behaviors that help her communicate, cooperate, and cope with her environment. One of the most striking behaviors of Flora is her synchronized movements. Flora often performs coordinated displays of walking, stretching, preening, and head flagging. These displays serve several purposes, such as attracting mates, maintaining group cohesion, and avoiding predators. Flora is also very vocal. She produces a range of sounds, such as honks, grunts, growls, and whistles. These sounds convey different messages, such as greeting, warning, aggression, or courtship. Flora can also recognize other flamingos' calls and use them to locate her mate and her chick. She is very curious and playful. She likes to explore new objects and situations and sometimes engages in games with other flamingos or with her own reflections. Flora also has a sense of humor and can make fun of other flamingos or of other animals. For example, she has been observed mimicking the calls of other birds or imitating the movements of humans. Flora is one of the most ancient and successful birds on Earth. She has survived for millions of years and has adapted to diverse and challenging habitats. However, Flora is also facing many threats and challenges in the modern world. She is vulnerable to habitat loss due to human activities such as agriculture, mining, urbanization, and tourism. She is also affected by climate change, which alters the water levels, salinity, and temperature of her habitat. Flamingos are hunted for their meat, feathers, eggs, or as trophies. They are also captured for the illegal pet trade or for zoos and circuses. Flora is vulnerable to stress, disease, injury, and mortality if she is removed from her natural environment. She is an important indicator of the health and quality of her habitat. She plays a vital role in maintaining the ecological balance and biodiversity of her ecosystem. Flora also provides economic and cultural benefits to humans. She attracts tourists and researchers who appreciate her beauty and uniqueness. She inspires artists and writers who celebrate her grace and elegance. She educates people about the wonders and challenges of nature. Flora needs our help and protection to survive and thrive in the future. Flamingos are amazing birds that have captivated our imagination for centuries. They are more than just pretty pink feathers. They are intelligent, complex, and resilient creatures that have a lot to teach us about life on Earth. By learning more about their secret lives, we can better understand them and protect them for generations to come.